As surprised as I was at how good last year's DJ Hero was, I really couldn't believe that Freestyle Games was able to deliver a superior sequel just a year later with DJ Hero 2. Sure, the underlying gameplay is basically the same, though some smart additions were made to make it feel like more of a freestyle experience, but it's the superior mashed up soundtrack that really keeps the experience feeling fresh. Like last year, I still don't know where the DJ Hero series is going from here, but after DJ Hero 2, I'm far more confident in Freestyle's ability to figure it out. Sure, you could argue that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is more of the same, but considering that the original Super Mario Galaxy was one of the absolute best examples of a 3D platformer that the genre has ever seen, with remarkably inventive, gravity-defying gameplay and a vibrant visual style that made the Wii's relative technical modesty seem entirely irrelevant, how is that even remotely a bad thing? In 2010, no game served as a more shining example of the minimalist, less is more philosophy that can make independent game development so compelling than Limbo. Even with the ominously dreamy, starkly silhouetted visual style, your young adventurers' repeated, unflinchingly grisly deaths were incredibly intense, and it matched its relentless action sequences with some mind-boggling puzzles. This is a game that just talking about doesn't do justice. Limbo is simple, horrifying, and absolutely beautiful. While DJ Hero 2 continues that Rhythm series' simple refinement, Rock Band 3 finds the genre leader reaching its absolute apex. For the Plastic Band experience, there's just no beating Rock Band 3, which streamlines the various single and multiplayer challenges in a way that makes playing the songs you actually want to play a top priority. And is bolstered by the addition of keyboards and pro modes that basically turn the game into a music teacher, complete with lessons on chord progression and theory. Plus, it's still super fun to just rock out. If you're in the business of making rhythm games like this, I feel bad for you, because I'm not sure how anyone's going to be able to top this. Shy of a piping hot new Burnout game, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is just about the best racing game I could ask for. Developer Criterion Games has proven itself the modern master of video game car crashes, which Hot Pursuit gamely matches with a terrific cat-and-mouse dynamic that makes these cars combative without turning it into full-blown car combat. It makes for some awesome multiplayer, but what really seals the deal is the autolog feature, which makes matching the lap times of your friends just as significant as any sort of arbitrary goals the game sets itself. It may seem like hyperbole to compare developer Firaxis to a drug dealer, but there's simply no denying the hopelessly addictive nature of Civilization V, which sees the stalwart strategy developer at the absolute top of its game, delivering a turn-based strategy game whose sophistication is matched only by its accessibility. Civ has always been lauded for its capacity as an insidious time thief, but the ways in which Civ 5 couches its complex systems of military economics and culture into an intuitive and approachable package makes it easier than ever to lose huge tracts of time, one turn at a time. For someone who grew up in the original era of Pac-Man, there's just something so exciting about Pac-Man feeling as vital and relevant now as he did in the 80s. 2007's Pac-Man Championship Edition was a revelation, and this year's Pac-Man Championship Edition DX spins out that hyperspeed, neon-soaked concept even further from the source material, creating an experience that's still recognizable as Pac-Man while feeling completely modern at the same time. Having spent the better part of the last 3 decades being tormented by those awful ghosts, there's a catharsis to gobbling up strings of 10, 20, 30 ghosts in a row that makes my eyes roll back in my head and leaves me always hungry for more. As one of the great American archetypes, the Wild West has rarely gotten the treatment it deserves in video games. But Rockstar sets an incredibly high bar with Red Dead Redemption. As you might expect from the studio responsible for Grand Theft Auto 4, this is revisionist history at its dustiest and most transgressive. It's more Deadwood than Gene Autry, establishing a gritty, turbulent open-world setting for reluctant gunslinger John Marston and the procession of hard-bit, morally compromised characters he encounters on his bloody mission. Now, you could reduce Red Dead down to GTA 4 on a horse, and while there are worse comparisons to make, you'd be significantly shortchanging one of the most distinctive, unforgettable games of 2010. It's hard not to be impressed by what BioWare has pulled off with the Mass Effect series, bringing its considerable world building and storytelling craft to bear in this engrossing, deeply considered universe. This is one of the most well-realized sci-fi worlds out there, regardless of medium, which Mass Effect 2 expertly exploits with some sharp gameplay and a propulsive suicide mission. This is a categorically superior game to the original Mass Effect, bringing some serious darkness to this already troubled universe. And from the cryptic chain-smoking elusive man to Mordin the show-tune singing Solarian Doctor, some of the most memorable characters this year. More than any other game, Mass Effect 2 leaves me absolutely starved for the follow-up, but in the best way possible. Even as a fan of last year's Assassin's Creed 2, I didn't know what to expect from this direct follow-up, which Ubisoft had mostly been pitching as a multiplayer experience up to the game's release. What we got was a game that improved on everything that was great about AC2, empowering you as Ezio even further with an omnipresent team of assassins at your beck and call, while also introducing a tense, competitive multiplayer element that's unlike anything else out there. Regardless of whether you're playing the lengthy, story and feature-rich single-player campaign or the inventive multiplayer, stabbing dudes in the face has never been so much fun. Which is why, ultimately, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is my personal game of the year.